Today, I will be showing you how to find the area and perimeter of composite shapes. We first have to understand what composite shapes are. Composite shapes are a combination of more basic polygons. We solve the figure by separating it into more simpler pieces. Firstly, we can identify the semicircle right here, and we could see the right triangle on the right side. Now, we could start solving for the area. We could start by finding the area of the square right here. We do this by timesing the base by its height, and we get the total area for the square. 40 squared centimeters. Now we solve for the right triangle. We know that the leg here equals 4, and the leg here is 3. Now we plug in our values into the formula. Area equals height times base divided by 2, and we get 12 divided by 2, 6 for our area. 6 squared centimeters. And now all we have to do is solve for the semicircle. We know that the diameter is the same as 4. From here, we need to find the radius. We already know that the radius is half the diameter, so our radius is 2. Now, we plug in 2 into the formula. Area equals pi times r squared to find our area. So, once we plug in our value, we get 12.57. But because we're dealing with a semicircle, we divide it by 2 and get 6.285, but we're going to round to the nearest tenth. 6.3 squared centimeters. Now that we have all our values, we could find the combined total. Our total area is 52.3 squared centimeters. Now, we find the perimeter of the composite shape. We already know that this side is 10, and the combined total is 13. All we need now is our arch and hypotenuse. To find our missing length, we have to use the Pythagorean theorem. We do this by getting leg A squared plus leg B squared to find our missing side. We know that 4 squared is 16 and 3 squared is 9. From there, we get the sum, which is 25, and we are left with c squared. But since we want to isolate c, we square root both sides and get c equals 5. So, we get 5 for this length. Now, we need to solve for the arch. First have to identify the circumference. So, we get the formula. Circumference equals 2 times pi times r, or radius. But since we're dealing with a semicircle, we divide by 2, which cancels out both 2's. Now, we plug in our radius, which was previously 2. So, we get c equals pi times 2 to get, rounding to the nearest tenth, 6.3 as well. So, now that we have all our values, we just have to find the total. 10 plus 5, 15, plus 13 is 28, plus 6.3, 34.3. So our perimeter is 34.3 3 centimeters.